This is the card we're going to be doing today. Isn't it pretty? I love Stampin' Up's stamp sets. They are just gorgeous. But to do this, we have to make a one-sheet wonder for the background. So that's what we will start doing now. So I have to get this ready. And I used the hand pen set. I've used most of it. I use this for the background. I use this to make it look a little vintage. I've used this one, and this one. I love this stamp set for doing one-sheet wonders. It's this one especially. Like, oh, I love that eucalyptus. And I've used the Quiet Meadow for the dottage. I love this dottage. And I just do it in Crumb Cake, and it makes the card look a little bit vintage too. So we will get started. Now I'm using Parakeet Party. Get this out of my way because I don't need that right now. And this is that stamp from the Artistically Inked. I love this stamp set. This stamp set is just phenomenal. Actually, for a lot of my one-sheet wonders, I use this stamp set. So if you're wondering what kind of stamp set to get for a one-sheet wonder, this is a must-have. So now we're just doing, let me see. I stamped off, so I came down here, and then I stamped off again, and I went like that. Now you can do a single sheet, like a quarter of a sheet. This is half a sheet, and it's totally up to you. It will be, I will cut it down to fit what I need, but I like to have the option of cutting off what I don't like so much, like if there's a lot of empty space, or if there's too much in one area, I can cut it off and make it the way I want it. Okay, so next I brought in hand penned this one, and I did surgery on this one. I took off these leaves. They're just extra, and I figure I can use them on their own to better advantage than having them attached. These are just small. They don't stick out a lot, but these I find stick out too much for what I want. You do not have to do surgery on yours. It is totally something that I did, but nobody else needs to. So this is Smoky Slate, and I'm down here, and try to remember to turn your stamp whoopsie, almost dropped it. That would not be very good. Okay, now I'm putting that aside, and I'm bringing out my polish pink. And the polish pink is for this. Now this is full strength, and this one is stamped off. So I have to hunt for them because I've turned them, right? I've turned them around. Now I should have my, there it is right in front of me. Goodness sakes. So I am going to do straight on and find these. And it looks like kind of like a watercolor, but it fills it in this is a polymer stamp set, so you really need the piercing mat behind it so that you can get a good stamp with your colors. Otherwise, sometimes they just are not the best. Try to remember to stamp it off. I'm hunting for them as I'm speaking to you. But see how it's coming into shape already? You can see the colors coming. Now I'm going to bring this one in. This is Orchid Oasis. It's one of the new ones from the in colors this year. It's very pretty. And I stamped this one off too, because I don't want this one to be bold and in your face. And you, like I said, I have kept turning it, so I have to keep hunting for them. But that's okay. It doesn't really and truly, it does not take that long, as you can see from what I've done. And I'm going to do that. Okay, here we go. I missed a few. And you can, if you want to, I want more of this color, so I'm going to do a few more. Now, you're not really going to see all of these because they are going to be kind of in the background because the focal point is what is in front. But it just makes for a really nice look. And sometimes you just stamp it and stamp the second time. And then it covers it in. And then you've got a variety of colors of leaves. So how's everybody doing today? I hope you're doing great. I will finish this off, and then I will come back. I will clean everything up and then come back once I have this completely done. I knew this is a good thing to keep this one here because I just saw another one that I missed. There. Now what I did, because I've got these two little ones. Yeah, maybe I can use those. But if I don't have one, like I don't have one for this one by itself. So what I did is I took my Rich Razzleberry Sponge Dauber, and I'm going to sponge it. And this is just the one that's by itself. Because this other one has 2 flowers together, and this one will stamp off there and stamp off there. Turn it around, stamp there. Yeah. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to this one here. Put that aside for the minute. And this one, oh, I just love this stamp. Oh my goodness, it is, I think it's my favorite one for doing a one sheet wonder. It is just scrumptious. And you don't have to stamp the whole thing. Like, you can see that I have kept it to about there, and then you can increase it if you want. But this gives me a nice depth at which I want to have them coming out. And you see I keep turning this around because I want it to be coming out and doing such a, like, it is so stunning. It just, it's kind of like the pokey things that you find in flower arrangements. This is my pokey thing. And it looks just, it just finishes off the design. Doesn't that look awesome already? Just by using that. And if you use second, third generation, it just makes it look like you've got some behind. Now I'm going to do some coming out of there, flip it around there, so it looks like it's coming out of the middle. I hope that makes sense to you. Sometimes I don't explain it exactly how I mean it. So if there's any, my email address is attached if you want to contact me and get me to clarify what I'm meaning. But like, just love it. I know, I'm silly. Actually, I think I'm going to do my this stamp from, that is from Ridiculous. Okay, I've got to read it. Ranunculus Romance. It's this one right here. Now, again, I am stamping off because I don't want this really bold. Can you see how that just helps it to be a little bit more vintage looking? And it's totally up to you how many of these you put on. They're not really seen that much in the flowers, it just gives a little bit of depth. There, I think I'm going to call that quits, and then we're going to come back to this for the dottage in the end. So here we go. This is Tahitian Tide, and it is one of the new in colors. It is just the pop of color that you want. Now, I don't want to get the stems on here because I want to be able to put it in and not be burdened with those stems coming out. They're not necessary. You don't need to see stems when you're no, I wasn't supposed to stamp off. But see how it just adds? It just gives it a pick-me-up. I love this color. Oh, it is stunning. I wish you could see it in real life if you don't already have it. It is so pretty. It's just a brand new color, so a lot of people don't have it yet. But if you like turquoise, this is the one to get. I might just do stamp surgery on this one too and get rid of those stems because they're, for what I am using it for, they're not necessary. See, when you don't have the stems on, how much easier it is to put it around the flowers. Keep that aside, beside me so I can clean if I want to. Come in here with my chamois and yeah, I think I'm going to do stamp surgery. Just make it so much easier. Seems I can't talk and put this color on. Sorry about that. Trying to see where they all should be and hopefully I will finish this soon. I keep missing a few spots. Okay. I think I'm finished with that. I know I'm finished with that. Those are finished. Now I'm going to bring this in and I am just going to, which color did I want to do? I wanted to do it in the blue. That's what I was going to do. The Orchid Oasis. That's what it was. Just to give a little pop of color in here. what I'm trying to do is see where I put the stems there over top of the flower. So I'm trying to cover that up with a darker color flower so that you don't see that, or fill in an area that doesn't have something. See, there's nothing here, so let's fill it in. And I don't want to do too much of this because it will overpower, but I want to do enough that it covers up some of those things. Now, some of these will be covered up because I'm going to be cutting it down, and then I can decide where I want it cut, and some of these things will disappear. But see how pretty that looks within that little cluster? It just picks it up. And like I say, I don't want to do too much, but I want to do enough that it's a pick-me-up. Okay. I think that's good enough. So we'll put that away. So what do you think so far? Do you like it? Now this is where we bring in the dottage, and I don't want it too dark. I don't want it to be like take your eyes away from everything else, but I want it to be something that you see and go, oh, what's that? There's something else there. Yeah, see how it just looks so pretty that way? Sometimes second generation doesn't show up as much as you want, but it just gives a hint of color, and that sometimes is just what you want. So what do you think? I think I'm going to call it quits, and then I will be back and I will show you how I put this card together. Hi, I'm Cheryl Rowling, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Ontario, Canada. Thank you for joining me today. Don't worry about sizes or supplies for this card as they are attached to this video. If you enjoy watching this video, could you please like and share, as this helps me grow my channel? And if you could leave a comment, that would be wonderful, as I love to see where you're watching from or what you think of the card. If you aren't already subscribed, please click the subscribe button and hit notifications so you will know when I post a new video. If you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to help you out. My contact information is attached. I'm back. Now what I did is I cut it down on all four sides just to get, it's only 5 inches by 3 3/4. So I just cut it where I thought it needed to be cut, and I think it looks pretty good. So what I did is I use this metallic mesh ribbon. It is, oh, so gorgeous. It just adds a little bit of elegance to the card. If you if you can see that, can you see how much it looks, how nice it looks? So I'm taking my Seal Plus and going along there. And I'm just going to flip it over here and get it where I want it to be, because I'm moving it all the time. And then you just press it down, and then you try to get it in the center. And I have, yep, I do, right here. I have a square 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 of vellum cardstock, because it needed separation. I just felt it needed a little bit of separation for that to stand out, because it just doesn't, there's not enough separation, but that makes a whole different look to it. So what I did, this is the Heart and Home doilies. They're from the mini. They're going to be disappearing shortly. But while we still have them, I'm going to use them because I love the look of a doily. It's kind of vintage. It's kind of a step up, like a lacy. I love that kind of stuff. I have a daughter that absolutely loves lace, and that her wedding gown was made out of lace. It was all lace. It was gorgeous on her too. But she's the one that likes lace the most in the family of the girls. She's after my own heart in that regard. My wedding gown was covered in lace, but it was more sheer with lace attached. Hers was just solid lace. It was a stunning gown. So now I'm putting this, you have to watch when you're using vellum that you don't put the glue where, I'm having problems, where there is nothing to cover it up, because you can see in the back where the glue is, and you wouldn't want that to be shown on the front. So you just have to watch where you're doing it. But when I'm attaching this at the back, it shouldn't be a problem because of all the doily on the front, that you won't be able to see that, and it is going in the middle. There are two half circles, quarter circles, whatever they are, on each side and at the top and the bottom, and I'm trying to get them in the center to make it look nice. There we go. And now I'm just going to attach this, which is I die cut it and colored it in, but I will show you how I color this in on another piece, because I did it on the envelope and I did it on the inside, and I just didn't want you missing what I was doing. Now this is my, I had some technical difficulties, so this is my second, I have 2 cards of Thinking of You. So this card, I'm not going to put any words on it, because I don't know what I'm going to use it for. And I'm just going to put the bow on here. And I use glue dots. And I like to use 2 glue dots. I will show you how I made this bow in a minute. One on each side, and when you press it down, it doesn't wiggle back and forth, because I don't like a bow to wiggle. Just in my own personal preference, I don't like it to be able to move back and forth. I want it to stay put where I placed it. So it's there. And now I will just glue this onto my card back. Need to, that wiggle room. I love the wiggle room, especially when I'm on camera. So now I'm taking my rhinestones, and I'm going to use an odd number, which is something I do all the time. And I don't want to use to be just stuck with putting them in the centers. I want to add a little bit of where I think it needs the bling, where I think it needs bling. And if I put it in a center of a flower, then I basically need to continue, or it just, I think it won't look as good as if it's just where I want to put it. So I put 5 on. Now let's get this out of the way. And this is the glittered organdy ribbon. And you can cut it off, or you can leave it attached to the spool. Now, if you want long tails like this one, you need about 9 inches. But if one of them I have shorter, this one has shorter tails, only 8 inches. But like I said, if you want the longer tails, you will need a little bit, like about 1 inch more. Just a little bit more. This one is not going to be long. Oh, I didn't tell you what I was doing. I start out behind the fork. I come around to the front and go behind to the middle. And I come up in the middle of the fork. And then I take this to the back. And I turn around. And I tie it. Put that up there and tie it. And I bring it tight. Now, I personally like to pull away from myself and get the tails going away. Now, you can pull it down towards yourself if you want, but I just find, for me personally, it's easier to pull away instead of pull to. And then you just cut that off to the length you want. I try to match them up, but this is a little bit shorter than this one is. So when you do the envelope, because you're using blends here, you must put just a piece of paper behind. This is an old envelope that got screwed up. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I think probably my grandchildren, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. It's just an envelope. So I just use it. I keep it handy, and I keep it right by my desk where I need it. And then when I have to color an envelope, I have it right ready. So this is full strength. This one is partial strength. I stamp off, and then I close this up, and I'm taking my dark old olive blend, and I'm just doing a little bit of color on here. And you can do here if you want. You don't have to. It's totally up to you how much you do to blend the different colors. Now I'm taking my brush end, that was the fine tipped end, and I'm just coloring this in with the light old olive. I really like the blends. I'm so glad that Stampin' Up! Has come out with almost all the colors in blends so that we can do a really nice job on the coloring. And we don't have to hunt for the perfect color. See how it bleeds in the background, and it will do that on your envelope, and you will see it on the back of the envelope, and you don't want that. So it's just easier to put a piece of paper in between and you are protected. Because back here it doesn't matter because it's going on, it has a backing. So it won't matter. But there we go. So what do you think? Do you think this is something that you will tackle? I think you can easily do it if you follow the step-by-step and just use a little bit of your imagination. I'm sure you can do this and do maybe even a better job than I do. I would love to see. If you do this card, please post it in the comments and let me see it. I would love to see your creations. Thank you so much for joining me today. I so appreciate you being there and watching my videos and commenting. Let me know where you're from. I just love to know things like that. I love to learn, and learning where you're from is just another way that I can learn. So thank you so much. Welcome to the new subscribers. I hope you enjoy my channel and are coming back the next time. Let me know if you want me to do more one-sheet wonders, if that's something you're interested in. Thanks. Bye now.